Hello, my loves, and welcome to this week's episode of Publishers Brunch with Karis. If you're new here, this is a podcast where I chat with romance authors and we pretend that we're at brunch, and the questions that I ask are all sort of geared towards that. It's a silly, goofy, fun time. We have a lot of really incredible conversations, and I have met some amazing romance authors, and really it's been a great experience so far. So I hope that if you haven't listened before, you enjoy this episode. You might go back and listen to some previous ones. And if you have been listening so far up to now, thank you so much for listening, for supporting, for showing up for me, and for this podcast. As I mentioned, my name is Karis Rogerson. I am an author, a podcast host, and a freelance editor. My debut novel is called Nat and Cammy's Guide to Running an Undercover GSA, and it comes out June 23, 2026, which is so soon. It's, like 8 weeks now, something like that. It's wild. It's a little terrifying, but I'm so excited for it to come out and be in the world. Maybe it's 7 weeks. Oh, God. Either way, it comes out soon. It's about two girls who attend a conservative missionary boarding school in Italy, and due to the culture of homophobic bullying at the school, they come together and they decide to start a secret undercover safe space club for queer kids and their allies. And then there's a little protest and a little bit of falling in love. And I think it's pretty delightful. You should pre-order it if you want. We are here today to chat, not we. I'm here today to chat through the intro to this episode. I will start out and just share a little bit about how I'm doing. Which is that I'm like mid. Some of you may know that I went back to do a ketamine infusion for my treatment resistant depression back in March, and that sort of bump that I received in my mental health, the good effects from that are sort of in the tail end of their existence in my brain. And so I do have another appointment on Thursday. I'm so excited to go and do some more ketamine, get a little high with a doctor's supervision, and hopefully feel better and see if that can carry me through a bunch of the summer. I'm also so excited because it's May and I'm a May Taurus, which means it's birthday month, baby. I turn a new age next Sunday on Mother's Day. I am open to receiving gifts and congratulations and compliments all month long. Never hesitate to tell me that you love me and also why. I'm serious about that though. Yeah. um, I wanted to share about a romance novel that I read recently. This one is called First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I'm sure if you're a romance reader, I am not the first person to introduce you to B.K. Borison. Her books are super popular. First Time Caller was a New York Times bestseller, I believe, and its sequel, And Now Back to You, came out this past March or February. So I'm a little bit behind, but I finally got the chance to read it, and it was so good. It's a true slow burn, and I adored watching Adrian and Lucy, the two main characters. I just adored watching them slowly sort of open up to each other and fall for each other, and then worry that the other one doesn't have the same feelings for them, worry that they're not good enough for the other one, worry that their own hangups will sort of sabotage this relationship, and then in as a result maybe they end up sabotaging it themselves because they're so scared. And I thought that was really true and honest, and I loved it so much. The writing is just beautiful. I really, really recommend this, and I'm really excited to keep reading this series and more of BK Borison's books. But I'm here today to introduce today's guest, who is a queer writer. And I'm so excited. She also is a May Taurus. Her birthday was I think it was like May 2nd or something. So if you're listening to this when it goes live, drop a happy birthday in the comments. Let Hannah know. Well, a happy belated birthday. Let's send her some love. But yeah, my guest is Hannah Rose, and I will read her bio now. Hannah Rose is a former award-winning newspaper journalist, winning at the state level for investigative journalism, both in college and in her professional career. She has a BS in Communications, Humanities, and Information Technology. Hannah is currently a stay-at-home mom to a child on the autism and ADHD spectrum. She's also on the spectrum and has ADHD. She loves spending time tending her garden, playing with her dog, reading across genres, and playing cozy games like Fae Farm. Her debut novel is Why Do You Like Me? And it comes out June 23, 2026. Everybody, please join me in welcoming Hannah Rose to Publishers Brunch. All right, and I'm back with Hannah Rose. Hannah, would you mind introducing yourself and talking about your upcoming book?
Yes, yes. My name is Hannah Rose. I am a queer author of romance. I
Nice.
do like speculative in my romance, and they have a little bit of magic in them. It's really fun.
Hmm.
My book, my first debut novel, Why Do You Like Me, is coming out June 23rd this year. We've just got it snuck in for Pride. I'm so excited
Yeah,
because it is a sapphic novel. So I'm so excited about that.
I love that. We are sapphic novel debut twins.
Yes, we are.
That is so fun. Is your novel is for adults though?
Yeah, it is for adults. It's a new adult book,
Okay.
so it's in first person,
Hmm.
and it's that language is a little bit more
Yeah.
22-year-old. The main character May is 22, and she does
Oh
very
man.
22-year-old things.
What a time it
But
was to be 22.
I know, but it's definitely an adult book in that case. There's
Amazing.
there's different things, but there's definitely it's an adult experience for sure.
Awesome. Love that. Well, welcome to Publishers Brunch. I'm so excited to have you. As I mentioned, and as I do mention to the listeners every time, this is like pretend brunch. And so, in my point of view, at the start of a brunch, especially if it's like new friends, you would want to break the ice a little bit. And so, I have come prepared with
All
questions
right.
designed to do that. They are fun icebreaker questions. If I do ask one and you're like, absolutely not, I have so many backups. Like,
It's
it's
great.
fine. I
Yeah, I was having
promise.
coffee or something. I didn't have time to make my tea. So, so
Oh,
we just got
yeah.
water.
Ugh,
Boring.
I know, same. Yeah.
Should have mimosas.
We
Absolutely.
have pretend mimosas. We'll just have to like
Pretend
be drunk off
the
of the experience of it all. Get tipsy off
experience.
friendship. Um so my first icebreaker question is like if money were no object, what would your sort of like career like marketing aspirations be? Like what would you do? Where would you go? How would
Oh
you
my
live?
goodness. Is that for like my book or just my life?
For
I don't know.
whatever. Like it can be for like, like how you would promote your book, but it can also be like I would live in a
Yeah.
castle in Scotland.
Absolutely. I would live in a castle in Scotland. Glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Um, because my Rose name actually is not like changed when it came over to the United States. It was actually the Scottish one. So, and
Wow.
then I have a lot of Irish in my family as well. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, I would live in a castle in Scotland. But if we're going promoting my book in this case, money's no object. I'm sure my publisher would love that too. It'd be great. Yeah, I would do a book tour,
Yeah.
100%. I would do it at all the indie queer owned and female owned bookstores. That would literally be my tour.
100%.
100%. That's where I'm starting. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing.
And you'd hit up some pretty cool cities too. Like there are so many
Amazing.
like niche indie bookstores in random towns that I'm like, wow, I've never been to. Okay, St. Louis isn't random. To me it's random
No.
because I've never been. But I'm like, I'd love
Yeah.
to go to St. Louis and go to like a novel neighbor. Or wait, I think that's the one.
Yeah. No, Atlanta has some amazing ones, which I hope to have events
Yeah.
at. Like Cheris, this has been around forever. Bookish, this is another cute, great shop.
Yeah,
There's Lavender
yeah.
Bookshop. And you can just keep going.
Yeah.
There's several in Atlanta at this point, which I will be going maybe on some kind of little tour with in
Hell
this case.
yeah.
I hope, but that's not a money no object. That's just I'm close enough that they figured me in Atlanta. I'm close enough. I'm local at that point.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I would love to do a big tour and just go to all the queer bookshops or like have something with like drag shows, like I don't know, just you name it.
Mhm.
Like I would,
Mhm.
if it was all out, then
Like bring in entertainment that's more than just like yourself, like a drag
exactly.
artist or
Yeah, if we're having a
like a
night
rock
one.
star.
Yeah, we're having it at night. I'm gonna have like we're gonna have some like we're gonna have a drag show, or maybe I would even bring in, some trans advocates and people
Yeah.
who are non-binary, since the main love interest is non-binary. So, and
Yeah.
have discussion, not
Ah,
just uh,
yes.
not just about my book. And my book is, I love my book and
Hmm.
it's wonderful and it's fun, but if, to give those opportunities for discussion as well would be
Hmm.
absolutely amazing. I used to be a journalist, so that's
Oh,
important to me, those
yes.
things. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And definitely the like ability, like when money's no object, you can be like, we'll pay you for your time.
exactly.
And that's always so great
Even
because
better, even better.
usually you don't get paid for your time.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No. If I were doing that, like to promote my book, I would absolutely just like go internationally. I'd like go to Italy and be like, hey guys,
Yeah,
I have a book. Buy it, please. Oh, you're not going to buy it? That's okay. I'm still in Italy.
it doesn't matter. I'm in Italy. It's
I don't
cool.
care. If you could only listen to one musical artist for the rest of your life, one, maybe like three, up to three, yeah.
Oh, you do
Who?
three. Okay. Still hard, but
Yeah, still hard, but like a little bit sweeter. Who would you
oh my God.
choose?
Three music. I am such a music person, and like
Okay.
when I write, I like make playlists and stuff. So I'm hoping, I'll probably share that in my newsletters and stuff like that with the
Yeah.
playlists and things. But I like write to music. That's how my
Okay.
ADHD works. I need like noise, and sometimes you put a song on repeat, and like
Totally.
to keep that energy going for that scene. Um, but if I had to listen to three artists, um. I would have to say I would always have to love my band Travis. They're a
Okay.
Scottish band. They've been around since
Gotcha.
early 90s. And those are just my boys. And they just always make me feel good. So I would always
Hmm.
listen to them. Um, gosh, Lady Gaga. I
Okay.
think it would have to be Lady Gaga, really
Hmm.
honestly. She would just really cover that whole pop sound, I think.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would ever get dissatisfied with
Hmm.
always having Lady Gaga
Yeah.
in that case. And oh my gosh, my third person. Somebody that I listen to all the time. It's so hard because it does change
Yeah.
depending on how good they're, however good in that case they're doing.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think I can do a third. I don't think I
Okay.
got it. I mean, I
That's
can't.
so fair.
I gotta like. There's so many that I'm like, oh, my brain's going
The
this
third
book
can
or
be
this
like
book.
you know, as the case may be. Also,
Yeah.
fortunately, this is I'm not imposing this upon you. Like you can still listen to all your music.
Okay, good. It's good. I have to. I need all my music.
Oh my God. I love that though. I always want to be someone who like makes playlists and like really is intentional about the music I listen to, but as much as I love music and really like connect to individual like songs and lyrics, I'm incapable almost of like remembering music and songs. So I like
Mhm.
can never make a playlist to fit a mood because I'm like, well, I don't know a single song. Like who are the artists of the day? Like I'm listening to all of them
Yeah,
actively, but I just it's like it doesn't stick in my brain for some
I
reason.
gotcha.
So
Everybody's brains works different in that case. For
I
mine,
know.
it's
Yeah.
like implanted, and sometimes when I listen to a song, it's like, oh, I start seeing a scene. Like I think of
Wow,
it like that.
yeah.
I will see a whole scene, and I'm like, oh God, now I have to like sit down and write this, and now I have to like listen to the song. So
Forever.
sometimes, depending on how my writing year is going, some of my music reviews have been wild at the end of the year
I
because
bet.
there's a song that got
Yeah.
stuck in there that was like, yeah, you had to listen to that for like 3 days like,
Yep,
by itself.
absolutely.
So you're like, but you gotta keep the mood. You gotta keep the mood.
You've got
So
to. Yeah,
yeah, but
that's
I'm a
amazing.
lyrics and music person, so sometimes it just depends. But
Okay.
I'm both in that case.
That is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I love talking to people because you're right. Everyone's brains work differently. And it's like, this is my process. And it's so ingrained in me that, like, that must be how everyone writes. And it's like, well, no. Like,
No.
we're all different. And that's
Well,
great.
very, very different, and it's very fun because I
Yeah.
have one of my other longtime friends is also an author, and
Yeah.
she just like she's an outliner.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's a 10,000 word outline kind of person, like,
Yeah.
And I've had so many discussions with her where I'm just like, I'm a pantser, and I'm a pantser at my best, at
Hmm.
my most organized. And I just start writing something and just follow where the characters are going, and she's like, I don't, that does not compute.
Yeah,
That does not
100%.
compute. Does not compute in her brain. She cannot even fathom just letting the characters do whatever they want to do.
I
And
I
I'm like,
was a pantser for my first like four novels, and then I tried outlining one and was like, oh, this is how
yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing it. Like this is what actually works for me.
And that's good. That it's good that you found the method. Like for me, I tried it and it was not it. I
Yeah.
found a reverse outline is beautiful.
Oh yeah, once
When
you've got the
once you've
draft.
once you've done everything, I've got all the story down. Now I go
Hmm.
back through, I dig through, and then and do the thing. That
Hmm.
works beautifully. But no,
Yeah,
not the
reverse
not the first.
outline, chef's kiss. Whoever came up with that, brilliant.
That is a beautiful thing. I can think of I can't remember the name. It's an editor that I saw online that suggested it, and yeah, it's
Nice.
that would work beautifully. I love doing
Yeah.
that, but not the first one. But I admire it. I feel like
Hmm.
it would be great if I could do it, but I can't. I really can't. I just can't. It's just
Yeah.
I just have to let the characters go wild, and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah. And there's something really fun and beautiful about just like going with the flow and letting your characters sort of
Yeah,
take you by the hand and just be like, we're
it's
we're in charge now.
it's special. It's
Yeah.
special. It's when they look at you and they're like, "What do we do next?" And you're like, "Babes, I'm here in the chair. I'm watching you. Like
Right.
you got to make a decision. Like
You're like, ah,
I'm
crap.
not in charge. You wanted to be in charge, so you're in
Yeah,
charge. So tell me. You tell me
absolutely.
what you're doing."
You tell me. Perfect. That's amazing. And then my next question is just kind of a general like, how are you doing? Like I know the world is hard, and that's an
Yeah.
understatement, and everyone's mental health is like on the fritz.
Yeah.
I for one last night got it in my head that if I had a different personality, a different face, a different body, and a different something else, I would be a better person. And my friends were like, "Not this again."
That's not. Yeah, that's not a good
No,
spot to be in because that's
no,
an impossibility.
yeah,
That's it's kind of the reverse, the direction you need to go in.
for sure.
Yeah, the world is on fire.
Hmm.
Quite literally. I'm in Georgia, and there's parts of Georgia that
Hmm.
are on fire. We literally had like smoke we were dealing
Oh,
with, as it was going out to Atlanta actually, so it's
yeah.
going across us. Yeah, the world's on fire, and I'm a mom and I have a kid, and
Hmm.
that makes the world even worse in a lot of ways. Um,
Hmm.
that you have no control over so much.
Yeah.
Um, but it feels like in a lot of cases there's two timelines
Hmm.
happening, and we have this really awful one, and then we have these really beautiful ones happening at the same time. Um,
Hmm.
where I see people embracing their queerness and
Hmm.
embracing peace and happiness and community care, and all those things are happening, and they're just happening simultaneously with each other. And um, so that can be difficult to sort of
Hmm.
see all of that at once, and to kind of process that with my brain. I feel like so
It's
that's
a
been
bit
a
of a
little.
mind fuck at times.
It is. It's hard when you're like, oh, I'm doing these things that are like really queer and happy and lovely and things, and then there's also that, which is so difficult. I feel like, but
Hmm.
at the same time, I mean, I think back to the quote, what they said during the AIDS epidemic, where they were like, they buried their friends in the morning, and they protested in the afternoon, and then um, or I can't remember, it might be the other reverse of that, but, and
Hmm.
then they danced all night. And
Hmm.
I think maybe that's just the human experience. I don't know
Yeah.
that we really have anything special except for that now we can just talk to people all over the world.
Hmm.
So now instead of me like learning about the Holocaust in a book, I can go on TikTok and I can talk to somebody in Palestine,
Yeah.
and they can tell me their experience
Yeah.
of a genocide.
Hmm.
Um,
It
if it's
makes it all
wild,
so
yeah,
much more like present,
yeah.
And
And I
like
don't know, yeah.
it's hard, I think, because for me at least, I'm like, well, I know about it, therefore I should be able to do something to like help. The past several years have really been an exercise in how powerless we might be, and
Yeah,
until we actually like come together in solidarity, we
yeah,
being United States citizens specifically, because it's our government that's
yeah.
wreaking havoc. But I was reading an article today about Irish, or in Northern Ireland. It was an old article. I'm like way behind on my reading, but it was in Northern Ireland, and how specific neighborhoods especially are very pro-Palestine because of the like they see the similarities between and the not just the occupation and oppression, but also specifically the British Empire of it all.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking how like I wasn't raised in a family that I was okay, let's say it this way. I was raised in a family that was like very evangelical Zionist.
Yeah.
I was like a fully grown adult, like fully fledged, like in my late 20s before I even learned that there was an occupation in Palestine. And I have seen over the past like 6 years, like especially since 2023, like awareness has jumped.
Yeah.
And I personally feel like we're racing toward like an inflection point, like in the world with all of the catastrophes and all of everything.
Yeah.
Like the two paths are sort of coming towards each other, the path of On Fire and the path of like queer joy and resistance and freedom and like
Yeah.
solidarity. They're gonna crash. And I think
Yeah.
I just have to live in a mind space where I'm like, and then everything, like things will get better, because I have to have the hope that when they do come to a head, that, not to be simplistic about it, but like good will prevail, like
Yeah.
solidarity, community will come out on top over fascism.
Yeah, the joy will win.
Yeah.
And I think because fascism eats itself in the end, so.
Oh, they are already doing that.
I mean, they do it.
So
I mean,
much.
they're speed running we're just speed running the 20th century again, I swear.
100%.
It's
so ridiculous.
It's because speed run. We're like, let's do it again. Let's do it again, but let's do it faster. Let's do it at TikTok
200% speed.
Yeah, like let's do it at 2 times. Let's press and hold and let's speed run this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was, and I've forgotten his name, it was a gentleman that studied utopia, or the concepts of utopia and things, and he said, I'm the most hopeful I've ever been for us reaching something like utopia. He says, but
we gotta work for it.
But the next 10 to 15 years, he said, well, hell, it's hell.
Yeah.
And he says it's not going to be. It's going to go down kicking and screaming and fighting and.
But yeah,
yeah, that's all I can hope is that I think the human species has only survived out of community and all that, and ultimately we find our way back to it.
Absolutely.
So I just think some people do it better.
And
I think
some people.
Yeah.
I mean, some people find community within their own little oligarchies, and it's like, that's not a real community. They're just like...
No, that's not community.
They're bonded by fear of losing what they have, as opposed to, like, love and giving. It's, like, warped, like, dark side community.
Yeah, they're bonded by a fear and a desire to one-up each other or to control each other, and that's
why things like the Elon Musk-Donald Trump partnership, like, burned so hard and so hot and so fast, because
it was not going to be sustainable at all.
They don't actually care about each other.
No, you have to care about people, and you have to care about people even that you don't like. You have to care about people who you don't necessarily get along with in that case, or
Absolutely.
that just requires a different level of your brain to go, okay. I don't like this person, or we don't like each other for some reason, but we can still be in some kind of community with each other and to build each other up and to all rise to the top in a sense. Like, and that's what I love about the author community in some ways. I find the queer author community so much more community based, I feel like. And sometimes when I go over to I see this is straight side, and I'm like, oh, okay, because like y'all are, y'all are, at each other, you know,
Yeah.
very
I
competitive or
yeah.
yeah, just they go at each other a little bit, and I'm just like, it's not. No, I don't. We can all like, if you get a ladder and you go up a ladder, then put that ladder down and bring people
Pull
up with
someone
you.
up
Bring
behind
people,
you.
pull
Yeah.
somebody up you and pull somebody up behind you, and we
Mhm.
can all keep going up. It's not a, you know,
Mhm.
it's not a thing where we have to like just keep start pulling ladders and everything. It never
Yeah.
works out. I think most people it
Yeah.
always shows itself at some point, and they show that they're
Mhm.
and then something happens, or they'll start running their saying, or they go crazy like JK, or
Oh
like
god.
you know, they
Yeah.
go off the deep end. Eventually, they show themselves. I think if they're that kind of
Mhm.
person, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I love
yeah,
that you mentioned the queer author community because for me, queer community is very special. I grew up evangelical, didn't know I was queer,
yeah,
and for like the longest, for like was so deep in the closet, I thought that I
yeah.
was out of it and was like, for a while, I was like, I'm such a great ally. Women are the best, and I'm in love with them as an ally.
They're just pretty. That's
And
all.
one of the first things that sort of like fractured the worldview that I was raised in was meeting queer people and seeing queer community in the wild, not necessarily in the author world, but that was because being I was raised to and was told that the evangelical community was my family, my brothers and sisters. They were the only ones who would ever always be there for me, and they were the only true community in the world.
Yeah,
And I emerged from that and came to New York and met a bunch of queer people who were welcoming to me. I was like
yeah.
the person that I was even in 2015, and they would like give me money when I needed it. They'd buy my fucking medication for me when I like didn't have money, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was lied to. Like I was misled, and
Right.
this is actually really special. And that's not to say that there's never any infighting or like problems in the queer community, but I do think, I mean, any group of people, you're gonna,
Humans, yeah.
yeah, but it's a very special, um I do think it's a very special community, and I think a lot of that is born out of the marginalization of it all, but I think
Most
it's,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. I think modernization definitely helps. I mean, yeah, I grew up evangelical too, in
Mhm.
and out of the church.
Mhm.
But yeah, there was no representation growing up in the South. It's
Oh
even
god,
it's
no.
more it's pervasive. You
Yeah.
know, you couldn't escape purity culture. I'm about to be 44, so again, I grew up in
Mhm.
the heights of all of those things.
I
You
kissed
could
dating goodbye.
yeah, yeah, like you cannot, and there was just no representation. I
Mhm.
was lucky I had two gay men move in next door when I was about like 9 or 10. So I kind
Mhm.
of had that representation. I had a great aunt. I lived in Atlanta. Um,
Mhm.
and so I would go to Atlanta and I would, she worked at a restaurant. A lot of gay men worked at that restaurant and stuff. So
Mhm.
my exposure was very much early on, more so to gay men.
Mhm.
That's not very helpful to me as a woman, as
Yeah.
a queer woman. That's great. I mean, it's fabulous, and I learned a lot about community and
Mhm.
and and just embracing that. I learned gay, but I didn't learn like my kind of gay. I didn't learn my gay. I didn't learn my gay,
Mhm.
and there wasn't on television where
Yeah.
there was queer or even like we had Ellen. That was our first like foray into like
Mhm.
a gay woman and um yeah, and I was just so I get so deep in the closet to myself that
Yeah.
I um I didn't start taking myself out until probably like my late 20s.
Same.
And
Mhm.
and then yeah, I have in the last probably say 5 years dug myself out even further at this point. We'll see. I'm just saying I'm queer at this point. I don't have the time or money to go to another letter right now. I'm gonna. There's another one. There's another one at the very front of the list.
Mhm.
But I don't have the time or money right now to deal with that. Well, I have therapists. It's cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna deal with that at some point.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
deal with that at some point in my near future, I'm
Mhm.
sure. But because like that's the thing is it always starts off as this or that, and
Mhm.
it's okay that your labels can change, or you could have had your label and you're set in that label from the minute you were born and you knew it. That's amazing too. I
Mhm.
you don't think there's one right way or another way of
Mhm.
any of that working.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just think that for some of us, it's just there was so much society and all that. I think it's just different with women too, but there's just so much
Yeah.
so much
there's a
extra on top of it.
there's a lot to unlearn and deconstruct
Yeah.
and just sort of like remake your worldview from scratch, almost, especially if
Yeah.
you were raised in a really like strong worldview, as in like had a distinct,
Yeah.
rigid set of values and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky, like my family was not that rigid themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I just put myself into it because of being part of religion and being in that. I put myself into it in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
into
Mm-hmm.
that own rigid. But that was where there was community, and that's where there was, acceptance
Yeah.
of, as a person and
Mm-hmm.
things. But it always felt like it was outside the church in a lot of ways, especially the Baptist church, and involved in that in
Mm-hmm.
particular, and evangelical. And yeah, this was the whole time. It was like the whole time. It was there.
Yeah.
It was there the whole time. And I'm sure there's people who clocked me when I was younger. I'm sure too. They clocked it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, but did anybody say
Yeah.
anything? No, nobody said
Nope.
anything. Nobody said
Yeah.
anything.
We
So
all have our own journeys, and
yeah,
sometimes it takes a while to sort of figure out which path we're actually on.
yeah. You have to unlearn that. The problem is like, and that's the other thing you have to do is when you once you see that once you flipped,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then you can't go back, and that's the other part that
Yeah.
people have to. Some people do, but I don't know how you can do that. That's be
Yeah.
incredibly painful to your brain to go back. So that's why I always
Mm-hmm.
encourage anybody, anything, in any way you want to come out and be yourself in any way, do it because I would destroy my brain to go back at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's really a great point. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Moving on to our next question, which is in the gossip section of this podcast.
Gossip.
Is there like a story or anecdote that you have heard or experienced yourself lately that you would like to share, whether it's a fictional story from like media or something you witnessed, like an interaction between people?
Trying to think of anything of interest that's gossipy.
It
In
doesn't have
this
to be,
case.
it's just, something where it's like for me it'd be like, well, last night I was at the bar and I discovered that one of the people that I've met before, we share the same sun, moon, and rising signs,
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
which I've never found someone
Yeah.
like that close to me. Like we were literally born same day, like 90 minutes apart.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Insanity.
That is, yeah, yeah, to have all that because rising's every 2 hours it changes. So
Okay.
yeah. So that's amazing. I actually had recently met a friend that she's way younger than me, but she actually has the same sun and the same rising as me. She just has a different moon. So that was very interesting.
That's wild.
Yeah, and she's like way younger. She's like 28 or whatever. So,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
so it's interesting when you do find people like that because you're like, you immediately click and you're like, why are we clicking?
I'm like, first of all, this person is like 10 times cooler than I am, so I'm like, well, it gives me hope. Like I can get there.
There you go. There you can go. What are your signs?
Taurus sun, Capricorn moon, Scorpio rising.
Scorpio rising. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I'm a Taurus sun.
Nice.
My Taurus sun, a Virgo moon,
Okay.
and a Leo rising. So
Ooh, fun. Wait,
like
when in Taurus season were you born?
my birthday is on Saturday actually. So
Ah,
yeah,
happy
it's
early
on Saturday,
birthday.
so yeah.
My birthday is on
Thank you.
Mother's Day.
That's okay. That's all right. Mine's like the weekend before, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
nice. At least I get that. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
born on May 2nd, so
Nice.
so I'm a May Taurus. May Taurus.
May Taurus, the best Taurus. No offense
It's the
to the
best
April
Taurus.
ones.
No offense. I love my April Tauruses, but I do love
Hmm.
a May Taurus. I think we're special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any gossip, but I only think it just some reason just keeps coming in my brain. It's just Megan Thee Stallion because that's like
Oh my God, yes.
that's the big gossip that's going
Uh-huh.
on because she's such a big star, and I mean I love her. I absolutely
She's
love her.
amazing.
She's a goddess.
Yeah.
If she deemed me worthy to date, like I just would like avert my eyes,
From
like
everyone
from
else. I
everyone
wouldn't
in the
even,
entire world. Like
yeah,
she
I'd
would
just
be
be
of
like,
it.
tunnel vision, like,
tunnel vision.
right?
Girl,
There's
I
Meg.
got
Let's
you.
go. I'd be a
But
fucking Moulin Rouge every night, just like there she is.
there she is. I mean, wherever you need me to go, girl, whatever you
Let's
need.
go.
I would take such good care of her.
Yeah.
And she, it's very interesting when I think about her, and people forget, that these are human beings. This is a
Hmm.
person who has a life, and she lost all of her family essentially. And
Hmm.
I'm similar in a lot of senses. I lost my grandparents,
Hmm.
and then my dad who raised me. I don't know my mother really, and so by the time I was in my late 30s, I lost everyone who had raised me
Wow.
at
Yeah.
that point. So, which is not, it's not ununique, but it is unique in some sense too. And
Yeah.
it does do something different for you if you get in relationships
Hmm.
where somebody promises things. Um, and in particular in her case, in a very heinous way, this person promised her a family and a future and all of those things that she, it's not that she doesn't
Hmm.
have herself and she doesn't have this
Hmm.
beautiful, wonderful career and lovely things that she has,
Hmm.
but when somebody gets that into integrating you into their life and then
And then they.
they just cut it off.
Hmm.
I see there is some people are just like, well, she should just focus on her career and she has less money and all this. And I'm like, it's going to hit
Hmm.
someone like her, someone like me. It just hits
Hmm.
a little harder.
But also, I
Uh,
think it's a
yeah,
very I don't like the take of like, well, she has a great career. Okay, people need
yeah,
well-rounded, like you want your career to go well, you
yeah,
also deserve to want to have like a relationship, and you deserve to want other things, and it doesn't
yeah.
take away from the pain of like betrayal or heartbreak just because like
No.
oh she's successful, like okay.
She has to do it in front of everybody.
Now she has to
Yeah,
like go through this with everyone's eyes on her. Everyone has an opinion. These
yeah,
like random smelly men on threads are like, well, oh,
yeah.
and it's like, okay,
Like,
who
yeah.
cares?
Who
What do you
cares?
think,
What
sir?
I don't care what you think, sir, but yeah, men can definitely stay out of this for sure.
Yeah.
Um, out of all of it, if they
Yeah.
want to. But yeah, it hits different, and I like the like there's somebody who could have left her alone.
Mm-hmm.
He could have left her alone, and if you, it's to the point if you're with people who have different levels
Mm-hmm.
of pain or grief in their lives, like sometimes you do need to just leave those people, leave them alone, because
If you can't
yeah,
be
if
true.
you can't be true or follow through, then
Mm-hmm.
just leave it alone. So I just feel like, yeah, it's gossipy or whatever, but I feel a little bit of a kinship to her in that
Mm-hmm.
sense, and that my heart goes out to her in a deeper way because I can understand.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
understand that pain. You're feeling that pain deeper, and then you're having to do it in public, which is just awful. I'm sorry.
Unimaginable, honestly.
I'm sorry, babe. I understand why you're leaving Mulan. I understand why you need to take a minute because that's just and other people probably don't feel that bit or whatever, but no, I understand why she needs the minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Absolutely.
not gossipy as such, but it is gossip, but
No,
it's
it's like perfectly aligned with the entree part of the meal.
yeah, like it's that's some meaty stuff you can get
Yeah.
into, and certainly even my character May,
Mm-hmm.
she lost her father, but it's
Mm-hmm.
several years before that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that definitely channeled some things into that with her, and that it's just like one little piece of her life, and she doesn't really
Absolutely.
go into lots of details, but there's just sometimes random moments in the book where she remembers something about him, or
Yeah.
thinks about not remembering him or whatever, and it's not, like she doesn't, it's not really a trigger warning like where he goes into details of his death or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just that's just kind of how grief kind of works, and it just kind of shows up and
Yeah.
goes away, and that actually shows up in the book some too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Speaking of your book and
yeah,
romance in general, I'm
yay.
doing like a segue here, like
Hey,
a very
segue, love
tenuous
it.
segue. Um, what
It's
are
fine. I'm just talking
your
my book. It was good.
what are your romance or either IRL romance or like romance genre fiction hot takes?
Hot takes. Um, I think the hot take is that any trope, even if you don't like it, if it's done well, you'll like it. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not a huge second chance
Oh my
person.
god, I was gonna say the same thing.
So yeah, it is. It's so hard. But like, I was just thinking back to the movie with Julia Roberts and George Clooney not too long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years
Oh
ago.
yeah.
And that's 100% a second chance romance.
Yeah.
And but I still absolutely loved it, mostly because
Yeah.
those two people like absolutely know how to. They actually have chemistry and they know how to do comedy and do all. They do how to do it or whatever. But
Mhm.
I liked it, and I was just like,
Mhm.
it comes down to it's like I can like anything as long as you do it well, like or as long as it's interesting, or you subvert it in some way, or
Absolutely.
you. I think I don't like necessarily people who write just to a trope or whatever.
Mhm.
Not that I haven't like done that. I've written fan fiction, so certainly you have that as a
Yeah.
prompt or something that somebody gives you. You're like, but I
Mhm.
think it's just always fascinating to see like what somebody does with a trope. I think is
Mhm.
more interesting than just saying, "Oh, I just love Grumpy Sunshine." Well, okay, well, but what do you love about it? Like,
Right.
and it can vary so greatly. I
Mhm.
mean, I think some people think of Pride and Prejudice. I think it is the blueprint in a lot of ways, but and they think of it as more of a like enemies to lovers. Well, that doesn't make sense because they're not trying to kill each other or anything.
There's just like hate to
They
dislike to
just
love.
yeah, dislike to love or miscommunication to love or
Mhm.
whatever. But I see it as Grumpy Sunshine. I see that
Oh
as
my
the
god,
blueprint
yes.
for a Grumpy Sunshine. But I
Yeah.
like how I see a Grumpy Sunshine, and I like a Grumpy Sunshine is your grumpy is really sunshine. Like Darcy is really sunshine.
Well,
He's
I
just
was
pure
gonna
sun.
say I think they're
Yeah,
both the grumpy and they're both the sunshine because
yeah,
like
exactly.
people will be like Lizzie Bennett so she's grumpy as fuck like
She's
that's
grumpy as
why she
fuck.
has so
Yeah,
many bangers of lines because she's
yeah,
like mad.
she is just mad at and she does
Mhm.
not tolerate anything, and she's really the grumpy in that
Mhm.
situation. And I think that's a lot in my book is I model that in a sense. May is the
Nice.
sunshine in a sense. She's very talkative and
Mhm.
she's a New Yorker actually, and
Mhm.
she's very opinionated and she very much she seems like the sunshiny and
Mhm.
Blaze is the stoic-y one, the one that's, just takes care of stuff and
Yep.
is more serious and
Mhm.
but they're really just literally a ray of sunshine. So
Yeah.
they're literally their aura. She sees auras and their aura is golden. So there
Oh, I
it's
love that.
yeah. So yeah.
I think that is such a great point about like something that I have been ruminating over for a couple of years in terms of like writing craft is like always whatever your first instinct is, like in a writing direction or for an understanding of a trope, like go to your second
Yeah.
instinct and your third, and you'll always find like a deeper truth or like a richer story
Yeah.
almost. And I think it's true there where it's like Grumpy Sunshine on its surface is like moody and talkative, right? But
Yeah.
so often we think of people as sunshine when actually they're covering
Yeah.
the dark, the like moodiness, the grumpiness. And so
Yeah.
the more you ask the question of like, but who is truly the grump? It's like, oh
Who's
yeah,
really
no,
grumpy?
I see what's happening here. Like that's a really interesting sort of like twist on the expected
Yeah.
playing out of that trope.
And I like your idea of that. Let's go to that next thought and that next
Hmm.
thought, which is really just sort of how you have to approach lots of things in life. You have to go. I
Oh
have
my
to go
god, yeah.
beyond. I have to go beyond my first thought because that's
The first
something
thought
that
is the cliche. It's the
that's the
like,
cliche. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the obvious thing.
Hmm.
That's the trauma speaking sometimes or whatever. It's
Yeah.
whatever's in the front. And then you go to that next thought and you go, okay, what is this? And then what's that? And
Yeah.
what you
It's
go beyond
similar with
it.
like first impressions of people. So
Yeah,
often I'll see someone and be like, snap judgment. And then I'm like, oh, actually, I should have waited. And I do. I don't like cut, like, ignore people or stop talking to them based on a first
yeah,
impression. It's just interesting, like, the people that I see, and I'll be like, okay, person A is going to be my bestie and person B I hate. It's usually the opposite.
yeah. And I think you have to do that with your characters and with your books and with
Hmm.
your writing. Is you have to go. okay, this is my
Hmm.
my snap judgment of this is the thing that I didn't want to write or I don't think that I like about this character or whatever. And then as you dig in and as you get in, then you should be going beyond that, and then that's fine. I
Absolutely.
mean, people who write something fast and it's
Hmm.
easy, and people who like that really straightforward. That's why people read Mantlance. And first off, because they know
Hmm.
they're going to get a happy ending at the end. So that
Yeah.
so that that has a place absolutely for somebody to
Hmm.
really hone in on those tropes and be that. But I mean, that's not every writer. It's not me. I like to go a little deeper than that. I like to go a little bit
Hmm.
beyond that and dig into that emotional depth.
Hmm.
Um, which is something I would do in my fan fiction was always, because it gave me the sandbox to do that, was to
Right.
dig into why this is happening or what
Hmm.
is the emotional consequence of this event that happened.
Hmm.
Um, and that's what I always think of as I go a little deeper and think of those emotional consequences of like those choices
Absolutely.
and those things that those characters make and like how that's going to affect, you know, the other person. Spell
Yeah,
puppy short.
that's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's just, okay. What is your happiest book publication memory?
um, my happiest book publication memory. Mine seems to, it's very interesting because, like, every time I have something happy, there seems to be always something in my life that's going wrong at the same time. So it's always been very interesting because I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that's happening while this is happening too. Okay, all right, this is great.
Yeah.
It's more so like the universe saying, like, just stay here, we stay with me, just stay with me.
Yeah.
We're moving forward, we're going forward. I think probably my happiest memory was getting that email to saying they wanted to publish my book.
Hmm.
Like that's the
Yeah.
moment where you know that it's like, oh, somebody said yes.
Hmm.
Somebody said
It's a
yes.
great moment.
And that's probably the next and next to that just actually holding my physical book in my hand. So
Oh my God, yes.
uh,
I,
uh
oh my
it's
God.
it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. I
It
didn't
makes me
expect to have that when because I'm self-publishing, so I ordered the
you
copies
know
myself. So I was like, oh, whatever. And then I got the hardcover version and I unboxed it and I was on a FaceTime with my friend and I just spontaneously almost started crying.
oh
And
my
she was like
goodness.
screenshotting her screen. Um, it's a really
Um,
emotional moment.
it is. It's a moment where
Hmm.
you like it makes it more real and so much of
Hmm.
this is very lonely in a lot of ways. You write your book
Oh
by yourself and you speak to your publishers or you deal with, whatever you're doing for self-publishing,
yeah. Hmm.
you deal with your cover artist or you go through that process and everything,
Hmm.
but ultimately then it comes right back to yourself in that moment. And it's just you
Hmm.
every time. And so like my spouse and my kid were out of the house when I got my books,
Hmm.
and I was by myself and I got my books, and it was just like
Hmm.
it's okay. That's that moment where you go, okay, this is a journey I started by myself, and
Yeah.
some of that journey you do by yourself, and
Hmm.
it's a very interesting, it's a
Yeah.
very interesting feeling, really, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't diminish it or change anything about it. It's just
Hmm.
it's very much an individual journey, even though you're sharing it with the entire world. So
It's a weird sort of
yeah,
dichotomy or like duality to hold of like it's a public job that you do privately.
exactly. Incredibly privately,
Hmm.
and and then it becomes incredibly public
So
at the
public.
same. It's so
Yeah.
public at the same time. It's so wild. It's such a
Yeah.
wild, unique experience. I wouldn't trade it. I love it, but
Yeah.
it is an interesting one for sure.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Mhm.
All right. And wrapping up the conversation, do you have a quick soapbox moment where like anything, it doesn't have to be publishing related, it can be totally off topic. Anything you want to be like, this is what I want the world to know about my like
Um,
incredibly niche take.
my knees shake.
Yeah.
I do have a publishing one, but for sure.
Okay.
But obviously Free Palestine.
Hmm.
Um, free,
Yes.
stand free on all in this case. No one gets free until we're all free, and that it
Hmm.
goes across the board. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Absolutely.
No one's free until we're all free,
Hmm.
and my impression's rooted in your impression, and
Hmm.
we work from there. But my publishing hot take at this point is that yeah, it's about putting those ladders down, and that comes from people at the top. I wish there was more investment in debut authors, and
For
um,
sure.
I love my publisher, Rowan Prose Publishing.
Hmm.
That's really her purpose. As she says, you guys will probably move on to bigger, better things,
Hmm.
but I want to give you space for the books that publishing's just not going to pick up right now. And it's not that they're not
Hmm.
great books or good books that need to be out there and be read by people. It's just it would be such small odds that they would be picked up,
Yeah.
which it is anyways at this point.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
much of publishing is money at the top, and they not filtering it down.
Oh God,
Authors having to do a lot of the work to build up their platform and to get those numbers. And I'm so proud of every author that does that. And I think that's absolutely amazing,
no.
that builds up to that point. And I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous of anything. I'm not jealous of anything that anybody else does. It's all
Hmm.
amazing. It all builds us all up. So,
Yeah.
and that's just how I'm going to see it from now, or even if I get famous, it's fine.
I love that.
No,
All right. Can you share where people can find you online, how they can support you and your book?
absolutely. You can find me. My website is hrosewrite, as in like writing, dot
Hmm.
com. I'm that name on every platform. So Instagram is where I'm pretty active. I'm on Threads.
Hmm.
I talk about witchy stuff on there. I got really popular not too
Nice.
long ago, saying something witchy, just telling people to talk to trees, and then I have
Hmm.
now like almost 1,400 followers because of that.
Nice.
On TikTok, I'm trying to get a little more active on TikTok. I'm also on Facebook, so same thing with that. I think it's H Rose Right at TikTok or Rights. If there's
Okay.
anything, it would be an S on the end, but H Rose Right is where you
Hmm.
can find me. Everyone, please follow me. I try to stay active, let people
Yeah.
know what's doing. If you go to my website, you can sign up for a newsletter. I'm gonna do some giveaways here soon. I hope so, and they're all gonna be tarot related. So she reads tarot in the book.
Ooh.
So if anybody's interested in tarot readings, that's probably going to
Hell
be
yeah.
a giveaway soon. And then I think I'm going to do a pre-order campaign going towards June that I'll actually be
Okay.
giving away a tarot deck. So
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I had a wonderful time
I had a
chatting.
great time too. We should really go to brunch sometime. I should go to New York.
Yeah, you should. Let me know if you ever do.
Actually, I have friends in New York. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll just drop by and we'll have actual brunch.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, and that's all for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. And let me know if you did. Let me know if you have any thoughts. You can drop it in the comments on Instagram. You can drop a happy birthday to Hannah in the comments on Instagram. Feel free to leave a rating and or a review on your podcast platform of choice. We have a couple of ratings on Apple Podcasts, but no reviews, and I would really love a written review. It would make my heart so happy. An excellent birthday present, if you will. Go ahead and pre-order Why Do You Like Me? I'll have links for that in the description and the show notes. And I just hope that everyone has a wonderful May Sunday or a whatever day you're listening to this. And remember that I love you. Be kind to each other. And love you. Bye.